So one of the questions that came through was, my activity on social media isn't converting to many clients and I feel like I have social media fatigue. I engage in people's content, I make comments in groups and on hashtags, but it's not working. What am I doing wrong? So I'm going to answer that question, which actually the answer is the same for question number 5, which came through from Sylvia. So Sylvia, if you're listening, what I'm about to share is in answer to your question as well, which was around why should we not hire a VA for contacting potential clients? And, you know, she shares that I'm quite introverted and I'm happy to kind of connect with people after that initial connection, but I find it difficult to do the process around that initial connection. So the two are actually one in the same, because here's why. The problem is you're doing stuff on social media, you're doing a whole lot of output, you're giving a whole lot of energy, and you're coming from a really genuine place. You want to serve, you want to connect, but you also kind of either holding back, like that whole rejection piece, or you're just really tired and drained because you're giving a whole lot of input for very little return. And what's happening is, if you're getting on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, if you're getting on here every day, knowing that it's wise to connect and engage with people, but not having an exact strategy on how to do that, I promise you that you are wasting your precious time, your precious energy, because you can come from the heart all that you want. And for those of you that know me quite well, you know that I will say that is really important. You have to bring yourself to your business. You have to bring yourself to your connection with other people, right? We're just talking in the previous question about connection and unity and the power of a circle where there is no center because we're all in it together. But just coming from your heart is not enough. You have to understand you're also running a business. This is not a hobby. And so you have to understand that there is both strategy and principle involved. And if you're feeling a bit icky thinking, well, I don't want to be strategic and that feels manipulative, then that's your shit to work on. I've got to be honest. Because if you're feeling like you're manipulating, then that's a reflection of something going on for you, not for us, not for the rest of the world. If you're feeling icky about it, then maybe it's that there's some work for you to do on you not believing that you're worthy to share your service. And maybe you're treating your business a bit like a hobby. Or maybe you're being a passive passenger, pretty much. Right? In your own mission. If you're sitting there kind of making some nice comments, kind of guessing who to connect with on social media, but not really understanding if they even are your target audience, that being they are problem aware, solution seeking. If you're just guessing at that level alone, you are going to end up very frustrated, very tired, and at some point you may even give up. Because you just won't have people to serve, or not to the degree that you know you are capable of, or that you need, by the way, financially. And so if you don't solve this, at some point, if you don't bend, you're going to break. And so just getting on social media guessing about what your message is, first of all. If you don't know what your message is, how can anyone else possibly understand what the gift is that you have to offer? So you have to get clear on what your message is. But here's the problem. Most people focus on what their message is from an I-centric place. They're like, what do I want to share? You actually have to reverse engineer this. Your message is for the people that you want to serve and that want to be served by you. So you don't do the work around your message first. That comes after you know who your message is for. Because if you just are focused on being about what you want to give rather than what others want to take, you're going to end up very, very lonely. There has to be both. A meeting of hearts and minds of both you and them. So you do need to know what your message is, and you need to be super clear about that. But you also need to know who your message is for, and not at a guess, and not labeled rubbish like, oh, they're 35, they're a corporate CEO and they really want to have more time and feel good in their body. That's not good enough. That's like 20% of the population. Once you're clear on who, then you need to know how to read their social media profiles, to know that it's them. Because if you're just adding people because they look like they're the CEO and they look like they're busy, but you don't know if they're problem-aware, solution-seeking, and you don't know how to tell from their profile, again, you're adding up your friends list full of people that your message isn't going to connect or resonate with. And then you're going and engaging with them, and they're not going to end up being a client for you. And while it is beautiful to make social connections, your time and your energy are resources that you have to nurture and protect. Unless you're a multimillionaire, in which case get on Facebook and have a great time. So you need to know what your message is, you need to know who it's for, and you need to know how to read on social media that the who is them. But here's the crucial piece that I'm about to share with you that most people get wrong initially. You need to know how to connect. And this is why so many people with the best of intentions are getting on social media wanting to pour your service over the world and share. But you fall down. And the reason you fall down is because you actually are coming from this I-centric place and you don't even know it. And by the way, even if you've done a little bit of work with me, which a couple of you here have, we have only even just started to scratch the surface on how to move past your I-centricity. So even if you've done a masterclass and you've heard me talk about this on an Ask Me Anything and you've had some aha moments, I'm very, very grateful that I've been able to connect with you in this message. Your inner wisdom knows that there's something there for you, but you're not losing your I-centricity. So this is where we start to apply a principle with a strategy. A strategy for how to connect with other humans. And you'll see that I've spoken a lot about stop slamming people with DMs, stop putting I in your content. There's a range of things that are going on. And you need to actually have a structure for how you integrate into your brain how to change those patterns every time you show up with someone. Whether it's on social media, on a sales call, at the grocery store. Like there are people, there's opportunity for you to serve everywhere. But if you don't start to identify your I-centric nature and then give yourself strategies on how to flip it so that it's we-centric, not I-centric, you're still going to struggle. The how people connect is one of the biggest components to you feeling empty and disconnected and not having a quality relationship, whether that's in your business or your personal life or wherever that is for you that's important. The how. We don't get taught how. From the minute we're born, we don't get taught how. It's a learned thing. And when you learn the how, now you're seen. Now other people are coming to you and saying, I don't know what you've got, but I feel connected to you and I want to have a conversation. Because you've made it we-centric, not I-centric. And one of my clients in a group session yesterday brought me to tears actually, because she said at the end of the session, there's a 3-part formula that I teach for how to make meaningful comments on people's content that is not I-centric, but that is we-centric. Because if you open up a Facebook group or your news feed, what do you see? Everyone's just speaking at each other. And your comments drown out with everyone else's and you don't make those connections. So I teach a 3-part formula on how to do that. And at the end yesterday of a session, Anna said, this is so incredible because I've been given all of the strategies in the world and ended up feeling like a used car salesman, which by the way, it's not a bad thing. But she said, what I love about having this strategy is that I also get to bring myself to this, but the other person feels that I'm connecting with them. So now I get to serve them. So if your social media activity is not converting for you, it's because you're guessing on what your message is, on who to connect with and how to know it's them on social media. and on how to meaningfully connect in a way that is that circle of unity rather than this projection entanglement going on. And this is part of the reason why we don't outsource to a VA. Now, I've just noticed that the cat's here. I didn't realize that he'd gotten up. Okay, so to answer the second part of that question, this is why we don't outsource to a VA. If you think about the law of entanglement, the minute you make a connection, whether it's on a social media platform or in a physical realm, in real life, in the physical life, the minute you make a connection, you are entangled with that individual. So from a law of entanglement perspective, why would you want your future clients to be in the first point of contact? Why would you want them to be entangling with your VA? It's going to slow you down. They're not entangling with you. So that's number one. But number two is people can see and tell on social media that it's your VA copying and pasting from a set of templated statements that don't make any sense most of the time. So again, all you're doing then is projecting and setting yourself up for rejection. If you have a strategy on what your message is, who your audience is, and how to connect with them, you get it done in an hour a day. Jojo, if she's still here, she will share with you because she's in my community. An hour a day. You're on social media, you go, you find, you connect, you convert to calls, it's done. But if you're on social media for any more than an hour a day, I'm telling you that you are wasting your time and it's not converting for you, because your time should be full up with serving, and your bringing in of clients should be an hour a day, tops. So I really encourage you, if that's not you, if you don't have a strategy that's converting for you, if you are starting to feel confused and frustrated and drained, then I really encourage you at a minimum to come and join us at Business Builder as a beginning of learning how to show up on social media and connect and find your people, because they're waiting for you to show up. It's not their job to find you though. It's your job to get in front of them. So please stop delaying your mission. Stop delaying your ability to be able to serve humanity. Whatever those stories are that you're running in your head, oh, I'm currently working with someone. Oh, I know how to do this. I'm not eccentric. I'll do it next month. Now's not the right time. I don't have the money. That's all the bullshit that your brain's giving you to minimize yourself. How long do you want to run those stories for? And what's it costing you? And what's it costing the rest of the world?